This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao. A gift from Italy to your home. San Pellegrino Ciao is a flavored sparkling water made with real fruit juice, finished with a pinch of Sicilian salt for a perfectly balanced taste. So which flavor will you choose? Peach, lime, blood orange, cherry, or maybe the all-new limoncello? Crafted in Italy with 0 grams of added sugar. San Pellegrino Ciao. Buy it now.
I'm Livy Dunn, All-American gymnast and Vuori athlete. When you travel and train as much as I do, you find happiness where you are. On the mat or on the sand, movement and comfort are essential. That's why I live in Performance Joggers by Vuori. Made from DreamKnit fabric that's made of 89% recycled materials, effortlessly soft and made to move as much as I do. My happiness starts here, in the softest joggers on the planet. Get 20% off your first purchase at vuori.com/Livy. That's VUORI.com/LIVVY. Exclusions apply. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/Livy and discover the full versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
The Dental Download podcast is your source for insight from conversations with fellow dentists, specialists, and leaders in the industry. With new episodes every Monday morning, I'm your host, Dr. Haley. Let's get into this week's episode. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. This week, it is just me. We're going to be diving into 5 things that help patients trust us as their dentist. First thing we're going to jump into is slowing down. It is so easy, especially if you're in an office where you have a very busy schedule. Maybe you have multiple patients scheduled staggered or even at the same time, and you're needing to bounce between rooms. But slowing down the minute you walk into that specific operatory is huge. Patients can tell when you're rushed. Slow down and take time to listen to them. Always make sure you give the patient an opportunity to ask any questions, to share any concerns that they have about this particular treatment or dental treatment in general. If they have any anxieties or requests that maybe you can accommodate, such as headphones or explaining what you're going to do. Or some people say, don't tell me anything, just get it done. I don't want to know. So people like different styles of their dentist, and finding that out is going to give them a better experience. And asking what they want gives them some feeling of control back and is going to make them feel a lot more trusting and safe. Things like eye contact, sitting down face to face with them and talking to them while they're still sitting up before you just jump in, glove up, mask up, lay them back. All right, we're going to numb up this upper right area. Give them a minute to see that you're a person, that you're there for them. That's going to make them feel a lot more comfortable in your hands. On a similar note, number 2, make it personal. Patients don't want to feel like, hi, so-and-so. You might not even say their name. Some dentists walk in, they say, hi, so we're doing some fillings today. Do you have any questions? Very impersonal. Say, hi, I'm Dr. Haley. It's nice to meet you. And use their name as much as you can throughout the appointment so that they know you know who they are, that you're giving them some personal attention. If you've ever met them before, make sure you reference something from the past. Ask, how are your grandkids doing? How did that event go that you were preparing for last time? How has your garden been treating you this year? Something that they've talked about before. Or even if you haven't met them, but the assistant remembers and they can cue you in on a personal detail and now you're all on the same page. Or maybe you saw a note from the last hygienist about a personal detail of the patient and you can say, I heard from your hygienist, Jen, that you love to garden. That's so cool. I've been wanting to start a garden at my new house. How did you get started? Something to make some small talk and get comfortable. I know you might be thinking, I don't have time for that in my schedule, or I don't know where to begin with relating with people if I don't actually have anything in common. But that's one of the skills that we need to work on as dentists is being personal, getting to know people. And you can do it in such a way where it can be pretty quick, just a couple minutes, but it makes a big difference. Again, for someone to feel like they're working with another human and not someone that's just viewing them as a commodity, as a list to check off on their schedule. For me, I always try to leave some personal notes in the treatment note or a separate section, however your software works. But patient's daughter is getting married next November and they're so excited. And then, their hygiene check is in January. How did your daughter's wedding go? How was all that? Did they go on a honeymoon? How was the day for you? How are you feeling now? Probably a lot more time on your hands, less stressed or whatever. So making notes of bigger milestones coming up for their personal life, for their hobbies, for their career, for their family members really does mean a lot to people. Number 3, again, we're talking about trust. So this trust comes in when you're telling them about clinical treatment plans, right? So number 3 is explaining why they need something, not just what they need. For example, you need a crown on number 30. Half of the people that you're telling this to might not have even had a crown before. They don't know what a crown is. I find a lot of patients associate root canals and crowns as hand in hand. Like you can't get a crown without needing a root canal. So they think you're telling them they need a root canal, which is this other big scary topic to them if they've never had the experience before. So a lot of times jumping right into you need a crown on 30 is not the best way to start. Jumping into there are cracks in your tooth, there are fractures in your tooth. And I do this after I've done my whole exam and I sit the patient up. I was either taking photos or the best level up is that your assistant or hygienist has already taken the photos for you and already preconditioned your patient that these are the things I'm seeing. The doctor will go over that with you and anything else that they see. So it might not even be the first time that day that they're hearing about the cracks in their tooth. But you like to lead with there are cracks in this tooth. See this photo, there's cracks on this side and that side and this side. When there's cracks on so many surfaces, the tooth is at risk of breaking. And in that case, the best way to protect it is with a crown. And you say it with confidence, with calmness, no big deal it. Because if you're stressed telling a patient a plan, they're going to pick that up. So again, that's more of the making them feel comfortable that we were talking about earlier. But it's also explaining why, not over-explaining, but giving clear details. We say pictures, proof, pain. So showing them the intraoral photos, showing them the x-rays, literally pointing in their mouth, this is the one, or whatever it may be, making it clear to them. Intraoral photos is like the end-all be-all. You need to have that, in my opinion. All the other things can help connect the dots for them if they're not fully seeing what it could mean. Proof, again, the proof is from the picture. And then pain is the other kind of motivator and thing that you can motivate them to avoid. People hate the dentist. People are going to tell you, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to the dentist. I hate sitting in the chair for work. Well, good news is we're catching this now and it's going to be an easier fix than if you wait. If you wait, it's going to be more extensive, more expensive. It could be multiple visits. It could be longer visits. It can be risk of losing this tooth, which is a lot more of an unpleasant experience and creates a much bigger problem for yourself. So the simplest, best way to be in with me as little as possible is to get this done now. And the good news is we can do all of this treatment in one appointment for you. Easy, simple, explaining why they're going to need this before you even tell them what they need, what they're going to get from doing this now, and why they need it, what they're at risk of if they don't. And the contrast to that is just saying, you need 6 fillings and 2 crowns, and we can see you in a couple weeks. There's some cavities and some other things going on. No one's going to believe you because it's going to feel so out of the blue, or like, how do I know that I need that? Why do I even need that? And then it almost gets like defensive at that point It can feel that way to the patient if you say, well, there's decay here and this tooth has got a giant cavity and a big old filling or whatever it may be. Once you start kind of explaining after the fact what was going on, it loses a lot of that authority and that confidence in what you said by having to explain it after the fact. So explaining it up front makes a really big difference too, that this is no big deal. A lot of people have these problems. This is what we do. This is how we fix it. One thing I learned early in my career is that trust isn't built in a single appointment. Patients trust you when you show up consistently, do what you'll say you'll do, and deliver a great experience year after year. The same is true of the companies we choose to partner with in our practices. That's one reason ADEC has earned the trust of dentists for more than 60 years. They've built a reputation for reliable equipment, responsive customer service, and standing behind what they make. ADEC backs its dental chairs, delivery systems, lights, dental furniture, and stools with a 10-year warranty, giving you confidence that your investment is built to last. And when you're just starting out, knowing you can rely on your equipment and the people behind it can make a big difference. If you're planning a startup, renovation, or equipment purchase, visit the link in my show notes to learn more. Because whether it's between you and your patients or you and the partners who support your practice, trust matters. Number 4, be honest, even when being honest is uncomfortable. These are those moments, and we all have them no matter how early you are in your career. You can think of a few or you can think of a ton that stick out in your head of challenging scenarios that maybe didn't go the way you wanted, scenarios that did go the way you wanted but were uncomfortable, or you were scared they weren't going to go how you wanted and you talked about it beforehand. But be honest with what people need, what they don't need, what you can do and cannot do for them at the quality that they deserve. Knowing your own limits is pretty much what I'm saying with that. And be honest if something doesn't go according to plan so that they know what to expect. But the best thing to do, we all know, is if anything's even questionable, you talk about it beforehand. And then no matter what direction it goes, it's always good news. Good news is we found out that this cavity is very big, so we can be prepared that you're going to need this other treatment to fully finish taking care of this tooth and keeping it healthy before you end up having a toothache in a few months. Good news is this tooth didn't need a crown. That's even better news. But being honest with people goes a very long way. And truly believing in what you're saying is the magic of this. Like, you have to believe in the way that you're treatment planning. So much so that you could say, if this was my tooth, I would do this. If this was my mom or my sister, I would tell her this, because you truly believe that. So when you're able to do that and kind of practice what you preach in a way, it's going to mean a lot to patients. And being honest and consistently showing up that way is how over time patients really are going to trust you. They're going to refer people specifically to you. And it's hard for people to find a dentist that they can trust, unfortunately. So these are ways that you can emphasize to people that I am truly looking out for your best interest and I want you to be healthy and not have problems. And we're focusing on preventing things before they become big problems. Last point number 5 of helping build trust with our patients is the beautiful pediatric saying of tell, show, do. I love that one. That's what I wanted to title this section. If you've heard it for pediatrics, it's telling them what's going to happen at the appointment, how each of the different instrument works that we use, showing them, and then doing it. You could even let them practice it during the showing part. Like, here, you hold the composite gun. See, look, it's like a little squirt gun. Look at how my blue light works. That's a lot of what you do with pediatrics, kind of warming them up for their first restorative appointment, for example. But the tell, show, do works with everyone because we're all kind of kids at heart, if we're being honest. And everyone dislikes sitting in a dental chair for operative work. Like, even me, I'm not like, I love this. I think it's cool. I don't mind it as much as most people, but no one likes it. It's uncomfortable. It's vulnerable. It's not fun being numb. It's your jaw gets tired from being open. Like, it's not pleasant for anybody, but it's something that you have to do. So really, it's telling them this is how it's going to be. this is what to expect today. This is what I'm expecting may happen. If things don't go as ideal, this is our other plan. And I'm going to take pictures during so I can show you after how we progressed through the appointment. If there's any higher risk of post-operative symptoms, we'll know. And then you just do. You follow through with what you say you're going to do. That's the overarching point to the final point of this episode. Number 5 is say what you're going to do and then hold up to it. That actions speak louder than words. You can be all talk as a dentist and in a dental office and with your patients, but if you don't say what you're going to do and then actually do it, if you can't deliver, then no one's going to trust you. Actions are everything, right? So you want to be truly living up to everything that you tell them you're going to deliver, tell them what's going to happen, and do it. For example, if you say, if you raise your hand, I'll stop to check in with you. You have to honor that. I feel like that's a no-brainer for all of us, but easy example. Other one that can get overlooked at offices if you don't have great reminder systems or you're just not a very good schedule-oriented person. I'll call you tomorrow to check in on you, or I'll call you next week to follow up. 1, you want a specific time because then everyone is ready and they're more likely to answer. But 2, it's easy to not call. But if you remember to call, that shows them that, hey, I'm a priority, this person cares about me, and they are honorable to follow through on the words that they give me. Short and sweet episode, but the overarching theme here, I would say, is continue to be a good person, treatment plan with integrity, treatment plan for people's entire health. We've talked about this in other episodes, but don't be scared to tell people the truth about what's going on with their health because nobody else has. Don't be afraid if no one's told them that they have all these problems brewing slowly over time and no one's ever said anything. It stinks to be that person, but there's a way you can frame it that is a little bit easier to take on, and it must be done, right? They deserve to know before they're in pain, before they have even more extensive problems. So don't ever let that limit you from giving patients what they deserve. Make sure you're giving them proof of what is happening and explaining what they're going to get out of getting this done now and not waiting. And then making sure that you do all this in a way with true kindness and love for them. Get to know them as people. Let them know that you're here, you're on their team, you're here to support them, you're here with them through their life. That's part of the reason as a general dentist I chose and love general dentistry is the opportunity now to be growing with these patients for my entire career at one place in this community with these families, generations over time. I think it's so beautiful, but it takes them choosing and accepting you, and you have to earn that by earning their trust, being a good, honest person, and delivering everything the best you can, always doing your absolute best. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next Monday.
I'm not giving up.
I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay.
No, stop.
Or not.
We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
In Michigan, you can feel the energy everywhere in the fresh breeze of a riverfront stroll or nightlife that hums with electricity. Let it bring you together in pure Michigan. Find your season at Michigan.org.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you will never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.